Hey guys, welcome back to the Tukes and Tires YouTube channel. As always, I'm Zach, and this week we're putting some new suspension on my old man's 57 Chevy Wagon.
Hey, is that Timmy's?
Yeah, because we're in Canada, dude.
Okay guys, so you already heard what we're trying to accomplish in today's video. I'm just going to walk you around the car, catch everybody up to speed that's not familiar with this project on what it is. So this is my old man's 1957 Chevy Wagon. We've put a all aluminum 6.2 LS into this car. We're running a Phytech harness. It's got a 4L80E transmission. Dad's made up a fuel system for the car. Basically, we're just trying to get the drivetrain all set up underneath this car so we can get it ready for paint and then possibly doing an interior down the road. But in today's episode, or video, we're going to try to get all this fancy stuff bolted onto the front end of this car so we can get it rolling around already. Dad's took all the old suspension off of it already, and he's painted up where he didn't paint it before, because all the other stuff was hanging on there and it was hard to paint around, so he took that off so he could finish painting it. But I've done a video on installing some of these control arms on my 56 Chevy car, and Dad actually bought these control arms before I bought mine, so I'm basically copying him. But he opted out and bought these awesome QA1 coilovers to throw into the car, so that's going to be pretty wicked. And he's running kind of the same setup what we made on my car, but he's already made up his brackets for an S10 style caliper. He's got an S10 style rotor on there, all painted up fancy like, so that's looking pretty sweet. So we're basically gonna walk you through how we're gonna install this onto the car. We're gonna get Dad in there. Look at him, he's looking pretty sick, but let's get after it. So we're gonna start off with installing the coilovers because we think that's probably the easiest way to tackle this first. So we're just loading on the hardware that they sent. So gotta have a rubber on the bottom, and it looks like there's a small way and a big way, so we gotta have the small little collar facing up. Also what we have to watch out for is because this has obviously the ring of this coil here has like an extra coil laying on top, and up top on the car over here it has a spot where it has to line up, so we got to line that up top, but that's not too hard. So Dad's gonna try to slide it in here, see how it goes. We should be able to put it in loosely. I probably should have had a nut so I could have held that, but I don't know, you'll figure it out. Got that on there. Washer. They got some kind of lock nut, or that's about it?
Yeah, they got
some kind of nylon or whatever.
They got another.
Oh, they got a fancy nut. Fancy. So we've also put it with the controls because this is single adjustable, so we've done it so they're facing outwards because we think once that's in the car it's going to be the easiest way to control it. Now all we got to do is spin this so that we get the coil in the right position up in the top of the frame, and then we're going to probably try to throw the lower control arm next, but we're going to get this a little more situated and then come back to once we're throwing in that lower control arm. But this is a pretty easy setup on this car to do, you know. Old stuff's awesome to work on. Oh, dead battery, dude.
Well, I just wanted to tighten it up a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. Once the weight goes on it.
Because as we put it in, we'll probably have to rotate that.
Probably, right? Yeah, I have to rotate it, and then because this is going to press the shock up because we don't have any preload on that yet. So, yeah, you want that control arm?
Well, I got to lift the car to do that. Right?
Oh, you're crazy. What do you mean lift the car? Well, Dad's messing around with that control arm, trying to figure out what he's doing with it and trying to get it turned so we can get it into the car. I thought I'd show you on this one while we have it out and with this coilover. So since we're not running a regular coil spring and shock, the coilover is going to mount directly to the bottom control arm. These ones are just cheapies off of eBay. For the price of them, they're pretty reasonable and they're really sturdy, and I've seen a lot of other people run them, so you know, no issues there. We are going to have to drill out these bottom holes for the hardware that Dad's got one over here so I can show you. The hardware that QA1 sent. They have a locking nut and stuff like that, so we want to throw that on there. But the holes with this one do line up with the QA1, so just a little fix there. That bottom control arm is pretty sturdy and it's pretty thick, so it should be able to handled the abuse with this, so we're probably gonna get that pre-drilled out before we throw it into the car, and then we'll see about throwing that in there. So here we go. You know, a guy's always leaving tools around. Dad tries to clean them up on me, but here you go, Dad, leaving stuff laying around. She's thick. Yeah. Ooh, fits right in there. Dang, dude. There you go. Sick. All the visibility.
Oh, I think I might have to go higher yet.
No, I think you'll be alright.
Think so?
Yeah. Need some kind of like safety wire or something?
Yeah, something just to tie that
I'll
up.
get some tape or something.
A little bit.
Okay. Kind of got one started. You're on your own over there. Pretty fancy.
Are you up in there? Let's see.
Yeah, it's up. I can see the threads hanging up. I know I had a problem with mine.
I should get a 5/8 for that. That deal. Just tighten it all up after.
Get it loose, and then we'll try to get the control arm up to the coilover. I have to try to pull that down. See, now you're really gonna struggle because there's a camera on you. Do you need something to maybe bend the bar in there to get it to line up better? Oh. Nice. So now that we have all those bolts snugged up on the bottom of that, we still have these ones loose, so we're going to tighten them up probably afterwards. But now we're probably going to lower the car down so that we can get the spindle on there and then get the upper control arm on. We're going to have to stick this board in here to get some probably weight onto that control arm to push it up high enough, but we're going to find out here in a second. But it's looking pretty sweet.
Want to make sure that that coil is sitting where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Compressed pretty good. You think we're gonna have to maybe ratchet strap it to the hoist?
That's pretty good there.
Oh, it's going up pretty good. Yeah, we're starting to lift it.
Okay, I'll lower that down.
Beauty. See, I mean, maybe yours won't have the same clearance. I had a clearance issue with mine where this couldn't go tight enough to where it actually bolted on. Yeah, like, look at yours looks like it's got more clearance than mine. But you got to figure once there's shims in there, it should be fine. Well, that's looking pretty sweet.
I think I probably should stick maybe shims in there right away.
Yeah, throw a couple in there just to be on the safe side so it's not hitting. What'd you do with that pack?
It's over there.
The good old trusty body shims. Look at that. Some really thin ones in there. Real precision there. You were born for the camera, Dad. Like a face for radio. Wonder how your bump stop was gonna be. If yours is like mine where it needs a shim over there, or if yours hits properly, if there's something just wrong with my frame.
Well, look how high mine is still.
Well, I was curious. Yeah, well, I'm curious once when we let the pressure down and it goes back down to see if your bump stop hits or if it's like mine that the control arm hits. So what we're talking about here is that I had a problem on my frame for some reason. The bump stop actually hangs up here about, I don't know, I think it was about 1/4 inch, so I need to add like a 1/2 inch shim on here for the bump stop actually to hit because something else hits on mine before the control arm actually hits that. But look at that. That's looking pretty snazzy. Just got to tighten some of that stuff down and the driver's side is going to be finished. Look at that. Pretty sweet.
I just tighten it up for now, and then I'll retighten everything, and then I'll
just get it snug.
Do the cotter keys.
Yeah, maybe get it snug and get some weight on it or whatever. Look at that, you got really good access in there for that adjuster though. If you ever need to change that.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
Well, see, if we would have put it to the back.
Yeah, you would have been fighting it.
I gotta get another bigger wrench.
Just throwing some shims in there to begin with, just so we have a little bit of spacing. Snazzy.
Did that take it away from that?
Yeah, there's a gap there now. I feel like you're probably going to need more shims anyways.
Well, it'll be okay for now until it gets set up.
Yeah, with an alignment.
Until the alignment.
It'd be good if you had a ratchet wrench, eh?
Well, I was gonna say if I had
what
11/16.
What size is that? I grab you one. See, I give a guy a ratchet wrench. He wants to do it the easy way. That's cheating. Yeah, it's touching a little bit again, but there's a little bit of a gap. Mind you, that's not going to move there, so. Beauty.
I think that compressed.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Bad. Yeah.
It looks compressed to me.
We got this other.
Did that go on there? Ooh, jam nuts.
I'll just have to get my thin wrench after. Tighten that up, so.
Cool.
We'll see how far it goes down now.
No, yeah, you see, your bolt stop hit the frame before it hit the control arm, but it's maybe touching that back bolt over there too. Okay. So you see like that back bolt over there on the right here,
Yeah.
right? So it might be touching that before it's hitting. Like it looks like the bump stop's hitting, but you almost might need to do the same thing like me and add a plate there, just so that the bump stop would hit first. But I mean, once it's fully compressed with weight on it, it should be all right.
Yeah.
Well, that's looking pretty sweet. Now what we got to do is do the other side. I mean, we got to hook up the steering just temporarily. Dad's thinking he's going to do a rack in this thing, so we're not going to change any of that steering stuff. But I think we're going to throw you guys on a time lapse on the other side, and then come back to maybe once we got some wheels on this thing. But that's looking pretty sweet. I knew that was going to happen. That's looking sick. Obviously, there's still all the sheet metal to go on the front of this thing, so we're going to have to do some leveling. We got all the bolts tight on everything that we need to for right now. I know at the start of this video I didn't explain how we got that threaded part, like the nuts and everything on there for the coilover. Basically we just followed the instructions from QA1, but this is looking pretty sweet. It's going to give Dad a lot of adjustment. What we were fighting was obviously having an aluminum block, so what kind of spring rate to go with and all that kind of stuff. So we went with a small block Chevy one, but now he'll be able to adjust it fully for where he wants it. This is looking pretty sweet. Obviously, he's got a little bit of farting around still left to do on some things like brakes and stuff like that, but this car's come a long way. It's looking pretty sweet. But I think we'll just have to maybe wait around till another video to see what Dad's going to be up to next. But awesome that he lets me help him out from time to time, even though he helps me out a lot on my projects. So thank you guys so much for watching this video on Dad's wagon. This thing's going to be super sweet when it's done. We're going to be doing a pretty cool paint job on it, so you know, hopefully in the future you'll get to see that. Who knows what we're going to get up to. We're going to film it though whenever Dad's doing something. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, and as always, don't forget to salute the beaver. We'll catch you next time.